On their birthday in 2020 around 6:30 p.m., Reddit user Hello Imrani was walking through their parents' yard when something chilling happened. Near the edge of the driveway, just beyond the trees, they spotted a figure, someone or something pacing nervously, like it was agitated or waiting for something. Then, it stopped and turned. It stared directly at Ronnie. Startled but curious, Ronnie managed to snap 2 zoomed-in photos from about 100 to 150 feet away. But what stuck with them wasn't just the eerie timing or the way the figure moved. It was how deeply unnatural the entire moment felt. They combed through forums, explored theories, and tried to make sense of it all. But to this day, no one, not even Ronnie, can explain what they saw. On October 27, 2024, a man exploring an abandoned railway station stumbled upon something bone-chilling.
रात के 12 बज रहे हैं और आप लोग देख सकते हैं दूर दूर तो कोई नज़र नहीं आ रहा। इस रेलवे स्टेशन पे नज़र आ रही तो सिर्फ वो औरत। यहाँ पे देख सकते हो भाई, रात के 12 बजे ये औरत यहाँ पे क्या कर रही है। जैसा लोग बोलते थे कि भाई ये औरत नहीं, है औरत की आत्मा है जो कि ट्रेन के आने का इंतज़ार करती रहते हैं और यहाँ ट्रेन निकलेगी उसके पीछे ही जाती है, पता नहीं क्या करना चाहती है। कई सारे लोगों को
Sitting motionless on a weathered bench was a pale woman, silent, eerily still. At first, he thought she was just another lost soul, until she vanished. When he glanced down to check his camera, she was right there. But when he looked up again, the bench was empty, gone. He swears she wasn't human, but a restless spirit trapped in time, forever waiting for trains that will never return. Locals believe she's the reason no one dares set foot there after dark. And now, so does he. A man got a motion alert from his backyard security cam in the middle of the night. Curious, he opened the footage. At first, everything seemed perfectly normal. The yard looked empty, quiet, still. But then he rewound the footage. And that's when things got weird. He noticed something unusual. Watch this spot right here.
You see this little orb right here.
And then you
watch. Babe. Look at that. No one's out back.
It just sits there too.
It does. It just sits right there.
And you can see the whole shadow, like a person.
That's nuts. I don't know how long it sits
Goes
there
away.
for. The orb goes away. Comes back. Now watch. The person's gonna disappear.
It's like they're just boom.
Boom. Gone.
Suddenly, a shadow appears out of nowhere. Boom. Clear as day. But there's no one there. Then, an orb. A small glowing light just hovering in the frame. Look at that, babe. No one's out back, but that orb is just sitting there. And it doesn't move. It just lingers. Moments later, the orb vanishes, then reappears. And just as suddenly, it's gone. Like it was never there. No footprints. No signs of anyone. Just a dark, shadowy figure and a mysterious orb caught on camera. So what exactly did he capture that night? Paranormal activity? A glitch in reality? Or something else entirely? Before we jump into the next encounter, I just want to take a moment to thank and congratulate all of you. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. We are working harder than ever to bring you the scariest and most entertaining hiking encounters out there. Our goal? To take this channel to the top, and nothing's gonna stop us. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and enjoy the rest of the show. When we hit 10,000, a few lucky subscribers will get a surprise. Just make sure you're subscribed and have liked the video. Want a better chance to win? Drop a comment with your thoughts on the clips. Now let's dive back into the video. A woman named Joey was walking home alone around 3 a.m. after a night of clubbing. She was drunk, exhausted, and just trying to make it back safely. That's when she heard it.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there's like banging. no.
Footsteps. They were coming from behind a nearby fence. At first, Joey thought someone was following her, but suddenly, the sound was right next to her. Oh no. Panic set in, and Joey sprinted the rest of the way home without looking back. So what was it? A spirit? A stalker? Or something not human? One night in Victoria, Australia, this woman and her husband were out for a quiet walk until a bone-chilling scream echoed from the trees nearby. The sound froze them in their tracks. Creeped out but curious, they searched for the source, but found nothing. Later, they uploaded the eerie audio online, asking for answers. Most people pointed to the brush-tailed possum, known for its downright terrifying screeches, especially when it's in a fight. But others weren't so sure. Was it just a wild animal? Or was something far more disturbing hiding in those woods that night? While hiking up Mount Shasta, a curious traveler struck up a playful conversation with a local tour guide and jokingly asked, "Ever seen Bigfoot up here?" The guide chuckled at first, but then his tone changed. Years ago, he said, he'd snapped a photo of a friend near the summit. Nothing strange at the time, until he looked at the picture later. In the background, partially hidden among the trees, was a shadowy figure with glowing eyes. Chills. The guide confessed that every time he's on that trail, he can't shake the feeling that something or someone is watching him. So, was it just an animal caught in the lens? Or did he unknowingly photograph the elusive legend of the forest? In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason, who runs the channel Appy Mountain Trekkers, uploaded what initially seemed like a routine video, a solo overnight camping trip deep in the mountains. Jason's channel is all about the great outdoors, hiking, camping, and surviving off the land. Most of his uploads are peaceful, almost therapeutic. But this video, it took a chilling turn. The hike up was uneventful. Jason cheerfully filmed himself pitching his tent and starting a campfire as the sun dipped behind the trees.
Figured I'd take a break. Got about 3 hours of daylight left.
While waiting for nightfall, he tried his hand at spoon carving, a quiet, relaxing activity. But as the forest darkened, things began to feel off. That's when he first heard it, a strange sound echoing from the mountaintop.
Alright guys, we'll give you a quick update. It's about 10 after 10. I laid down about 9 o'clock and I was trying to go to sleep. It took me a while and I was almost asleep, and sometime before 10 I was woke up by something I've never heard in my life. I heard like 4 quick, very loud, deep guttural calls on this ridge behind me, behind camp. There's like a dip on the other side and it goes up to a higher ridge on its backside, and it sounded like it come from over there.
He brushed it off as a bird or maybe a small animal, but he admitted later it gave him pause. By 9 p.m., Jason turned off the camera and climbed into his tent for the night. But less than an hour later, something woke him up. A sound. Not just any sound, something guttural, unnatural. Hours passed. Then, around 1 a.m., he was awakened again, this time not by a distant call, but by the unmistakable sound of something circling his tent.
It's about 1 o'clock. I woke up again. I heard something circle my camp. Hear that?
As Jason swept his flashlight across the trees, you can just barely make out something in the bottom left corner of the screen. 2 glowing sets of eyes reflecting in the beam. They're low to the ground, unmoving, watching. While many animals' eyes reflect light at night, the sharp, fiery white glow suggests these could have belonged to wolves or coyotes. Domesticated dogs also produce white reflections, but the odds of a pet wandering the mountains at 1 a.m. are slim. If these were coyotes or wolves, especially if they had pups nearby, Jason was in danger. But here's the chilling part. Jason doesn't seem to notice the eyes at all. He never comments on them, never zooms in. He simply scans the area, then retreats into his tent and somehow manages to sleep through the night. The next morning, he filmed a short update before heading back down the mountain, but not once did he mention the eyes his camera had caught watching him. To this day, there has been no follow-up on the incident, no explanation, just one eerie video, and a sense that Jason might not have been alone out there in the woods. While driving in the woods, this woman had a terrifying encounter that they'll never forget.
What the fuck? Oh my god, no, fuck that.
Out of nowhere, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the trees, so loud, so unnatural, it froze them in place. At first they thought maybe it was just an animal, but the longer they listened, the more it sounded like something else, something wrong. The woman was completely alone, with no cell signal, no one around for miles, just the dark woods, and that scream. So, who or what was making that sound? Could it have been a wild animal, or was it something far more sinister lurking in the shadows? About 17 years ago, a woman snapped a photo of her 2 young nieces playing near their countryside home. At first glance, everything seemed perfectly normal, just a sweet memory captured on camera. But when she looked closer, something chilling stood out. In the background, near the edge of the woods, was the dark silhouette of a person. The strange part? That spot was just an open field, part of their private property. No one should have been there. To even reach that area, someone would have had to pass through her house or cross a field full of cows. Yet, there was no sign of anyone that day. To this day, no one can explain who or what was standing there. It was July 2023, and the scene was their parents' house, a cozy, familiar spot where the whole family often gathered. That day, most of them were inside helping with newborn twins, while the sister and her fiancé stepped outside to tidy up the backyard. She casually snapped a few photos to track their progress, expecting nothing more than shots of her fiancé near the picnic table. But one image showed something she hadn't seen in real life. A shadowy figure moving through the garden. There were no neighbors around, no pets, no one else is outside, just them. Since that eerie moment, they've installed security cameras across the property. But in all the time since, nothing like it has ever happened again. Not a single unexplained thing. So what exactly did she capture that day? 2 years after purchasing a quiet cabin deep in the woods, the homeowner finally decided to check out the attic storage, an area they had ignored since move-in. Pushing aside dusty old boxes, they stumbled upon something unsettling. Strange symbols covered the walls, not random doodles or innocent markings. These were precise, ritualistic, almost ceremonial. It felt like something straight out of a horror film. Had the previous owners been involved in black magic? Or worse, part of some hidden cult? Looking back, they couldn't help but wonder, how did they miss this before buying the place? Years ago, a Reddit user shared a bone-chilling memory from their childhood home. An old house built in the 1860s, hidden deep in the woods and eerily positioned right across from a graveyard. One quiet afternoon, while alone in the house, their mother spotted something strange in the window. Acting fast, she grabbed a camera and snapped a photo. Later, she showed it to her husband. He had once stood in that very spot, so they compared the images. He's 6'2", but whatever appeared in the photo was even taller. It wasn't him, and no one else should have been there. With the house's haunted history and a cemetery just steps away, one haunting question remains. Who or what was standing in that window? Reddit user Strange Sandwich 28 shared a chilling tale about a mysterious house his grandfather built back in 1945 in Hagerstown, Maryland. The home was constructed using materials salvaged from a demolished church, an eerie origin that only adds to its haunted reputation, passed down through generations of family stories. When he was around 7, Strange Sandwich 1028 visited his grandmother with his parents. During their trip, they decided to walk over to the old, abandoned house nearby. As they approached, his mother suddenly froze. She saw movement in one of the windows, even though no one was supposed to be inside. His father, an amateur photographer, quickly snapped a few pictures. But it wasn't until the film was developed that the true horror revealed itself. One of the windows showed something or someone that couldn't possibly have been there. To this day, what they captured remains a bone-chilling mystery. In July 2008, a young boy was filming in the Rocky Mountains when he captured something strange hovering in the sky. What he filmed was no ordinary sight. A dark ring floated silently above the mountains, completely still, then slowly drifted away. There were no planes nearby, no wildfires, nothing that could explain a perfect smoke ring just hanging in the air like that. When the footage spread online, people were baffled. Theories exploded. Was it a portal? A wormhole? Something not from here? To this day, no one can say what the boy saw, and some still wonder, was it real, or was it all just a clever edit? While venturing deep into the woods, a hiker climbed onto the roof of an abandoned building to capture the breathtaking view. But as they scanned the landscape, something strange caught their eye. A tall, thin, gray figure weaving through the trees. Heart-pounding, they zoomed in, only to realize it resembled neither a human nor any animal they had ever seen. A chill ran down their spine, an unshakable sense of dread settling in. For the rest of the day, the eerie encounter haunted their thoughts, leaving them questioning what they had just witnessed. A man who lives near the Appalachian Mountains often hikes the trails alone, and has never experienced anything out of the ordinary until one chilling trip changed that. While exploring the woods like he always does, he suddenly heard a scream unlike anything he'd ever encountered. It could have been wildlife. But something about it felt off, unnatural even. Was this his first real brush with the unsettling mysteries of the Appalachian wilderness? This guy spotted something weird moving in the ocean, a long, dark shape silently gliding just below the surface. At first, he figured it was just a piece of driftwood, until it started to rise. That's when he saw it. A smooth, snake-like body, moving with eerie precision. Some viewers brushed it off as floating debris, but the way it swayed through the water, it looked alive. The footage might be grainy and far off, but one thing's clear: something big was creeping just offshore. A group of friends had rented a remote cabin deep in the Appalachian Mountains for a peaceful weekend getaway. Surrounded by endless, shadowy woods, the spot felt like a perfect escape. One night, as they soaked in the hot tub beneath a glowing moon, a low, thunderous sound echoed from somewhere deep in the forest.
Yeah, that was a car. Shit. Who's the aliens, bro? I think it's a train.
Es que porque suena así a la verga.
But that shit's scary.
Okay, do you guys want to go inside?
No. Es que siento que no va a pasar nada, pero...
But the music and laughter quickly faded into nervous silence. Something about that sound wasn't right. Unbeknownst to them, the Appalachian woods have a long, chilling history. Mysterious vanishings, strange figures spotted between the trees, stories that locals don't like to tell after dark. Thankfully, the group left the hot tub and returned inside without incident. But that night, it still haunts their memories. While hiking a remote stretch of the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina, a lone hiker reached the summit expecting sweeping views, but stumbled upon something far more chilling. Hidden among the trees, they discovered an old, forgotten graveyard. Weathered headstones jutted from the earth, with no signs, no fences, and no trace of it on any map. The hiker searched for answers but found nothing. No names, no history, no explanation. The eerie silence and cold mountain air clung to them, leaving behind a mystery and a memory they'd never shake. Lewis, Clark, and their friends thought exploring an old, abandoned train hidden deep within the forest would be fun. Most of the train cars were empty, silent, and eerie, but nothing too unusual. That is, until they reached the caboose. Inside, the air felt heavier. The sheets covering the benches were stained with dark red spots. Something large, something unnaturally heavy, was hidden beneath one of them.
The carriage and we'll come, let's go. What is that? What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Just go, just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we need to get out.
Fucking go, go.
That shit. Go on.
Fuck! Ugh. There's mud everywhere, Ant. Wait, is that a body? We need to call the police, mate. We need to. Oh my god, this has happened before, but this has happened before. Ow, I hit my fucking head. Fuck!
Mate. I'm fucking wrong,
No one dared to lift the sheet. They bolted, even leaping over another blood-stained cover on their way out, hearts pounding. To this day, no one knows what was under those sheets. Some say it was a body, others think it was something even worse. But one thing's certain, Lewis and his friends never went back, and they never will. Less than half a mile into a 2021 section hike on the Appalachian Trail, this hiker suddenly heard something strange, eerie sounds echoing through the trees. Every hair on their body stood up. The trail was completely empty, yet the noise grew louder, closer, like something huge was creeping just out of sight in the woods. Turns out, it was just cows. So no, not everything in the wilderness is something sinister, but still, stay alert. You never know what's waiting just off the path. Sydney, a solo traveler, returned to one of the very first campsites she'd ever visited, tucked deep within the Appalachian wilderness. When she arrived, the forest was eerily silent, not a soul in sight. She pitched her tent and started cooking a simple meal, rice and chicken sizzling over the fire. That's when she heard it.
Is that?
A strange, unplaceable sound echoed through the trees. It didn't quite feel natural. Still, Sydney brushed it off and stayed the night. Luckily, nothing happened, or so she thought. To this day, the clip remains a complete mystery. In 2011, a family vacationing in Tennessee's Smoky Mountains captured something eerie on camera.
What's he doing?
While filming the scenic view, the man behind the camera noticed a sudden movement in the background. A moment later, it appeared again, this time partially hidden behind thick bushes. The family was convinced they had just seen Bigfoot, and given how steep and unforgiving the terrain is, especially around Clingman's Dome, it would be nearly impossible for someone to stage a hoax in a costume. Strangest of all, sightings like this aren't exactly uncommon in these mountains. While walking along a quiet trail, a Reddit user stumbled upon something truly disturbing. Pinned to a tree was a severed tongue. Some believed it was real, possibly belonging to a cow or deer, while others speculated it could be part of a sinister ritual or even a chilling warning. But who would do such a thing, and why? What could be the real story behind this eerie discovery? While camping deep in the woods, a family snapped what they thought was a sweet photo of their 3 children playing in a tree. At first glance, everything looked perfectly normal, just a joyful moment frozen in time. But when they looked closer, later that evening, their hearts sank. Standing just behind their youngest son was a 4th child. The eerie part. The family swears no one else was around. They were miles from anyone, in a secluded part of the forest. So, who or what was in that photo? Could it have been a ghost? One night off the coast of Scapello, Sicily, something eerie was captured on camera. A glowing figure drifted through the dark waters at first, and it looked like a diver with a headlamp. But as it came closer, the illusion fell apart. Its shape was all wrong. Long, serpent-like, a visible spine running down its back, and the way it moved? Not human, not even close. Was it just a trick of the light? A diver caught at a strange angle? Or did this fisherman stumble upon something far more mysterious lurking beneath the surface? It was around 2 a.m. during a peaceful late-night fishing trip when this person, sitting alone by a still, quiet lake, decided to snap a quick photo just to capture the moment. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The night was calm, silent, exactly what you'd expect at that hour. But when they checked the photo later, There it was, a dark, shadowy figure standing in the distance. They swear no one else was there. So the question is who or what was lurking by the lake that night? As he drove down an old abandoned road toward his campsite, a chill ran down his spine. Up ahead, something eerie caught his eye. A shadowy figure in a flowing white dress crossing the road. His heart pounded as he slammed the brakes. Who or what was that? Curiosity got the best of him. Stepping out of his car into the pitch-black night, he scanned the surroundings. But there was nothing, just silence and darkness. If it were a person, why were they wandering alone in the middle of the forest at this hour? And if it wasn't, then what had he just seen? While trekking through the woods, a group of adventurers stumbled upon an abandoned GoPro, its owner nowhere in sight. Intrigued, they played back the footage only to be shaken by what they uncovered. The final moments showed a group of unknown explorers, their expressions shifting from excitement to pure terror. In the background, a shadowy, unnerving figure loomed, watching them. Then, without warning, the footage cut to black. Despite efforts to identify the people in the video, their identities remain a mystery. Were they just lost tourists? Or does this eerie recording capture the final moments of a group that was never meant to be found? A Reddit user recently shared a photo from a peaceful trip to a forest in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where they were trying to capture a playful shot of a tree. However, upon zooming in, something strange caught their eye. A mysterious gray figure appeared to be standing at the edge of a fence. Some commenters speculated that the figure resembled a woman in Victorian-era clothing, possibly a nurse or housemaid. Given the area's rich Civil War history, could this be the spirit of a Civil War nurse still lingering in the woods? The eerie discovery has sparked some fascinating theories. It was a quiet evening as the YouTuber settled in for a solo camping trip deep in the forest. As night crept in, he curled up in his tent, ready to get some rest. But then, something stirred him awake. Torn between fear and curiosity, he gathered the courage to step outside and investigate.
He went away though. I feel like I kind of want to go out and check, but I'm kind of scared too. I think we're gonna go out and check. I might just walk around and look at the area. Look at this, guys. I can't even see a thing on camera. It's so dark. Let me see if my phone flashlight's better. I think it's a little better. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely better. I'm just gonna use my phone flashlight.
But when he looked around, everything seemed normal, until he spotted something strange. Just as he started to feel calm again, snuggling back into his sleeping bag, a sudden noise shattered the silence.
Wait. Guys, what is this? There's some sort of marking on the tree. It's kind of creepy. I wonder what that's for. Alright, well, now that I know that there's nothing out there, I'm gonna try to go back to bed. Hello?
If you listen closely, you could hear the unmistakable sound of footsteps, this time circling his tent. Terrified and confused, unable to figure out what was out there, he made a snap decision. In the middle of the night, with fear and adrenaline coursing through him, he packed up and bolted, abandoning his campsite without a second thought. A few years back, a family took a trip to Jeffrey's Cliffs in Hawkville, Kentucky. It was supposed to be a peaceful day of hiking and snapping photos of the kids, but one picture revealed something far from ordinary. In the background, a blurry, shadowy figure loomed just behind the group. The unsettling part? According to the mom, no one else was anywhere near them when the photo was taken. Deep in a remote California forest, a lone explorer navigates the darkness with only a flashlight. As the beam cuts through the eerie silence, he suddenly stops. The camera captures his hushed, anxious whispers.
You think that was a coyote? What do you think that was? What was it? Do you see it where? Whoa. Holy crap!
What is that?
Holy...
In the distance, a strange figure moves. Towering and eerily human-like in its gait, its skin shimmers with a reptilian texture, covering its head, arms, and body. The dim light and grainy footage make it impossible to identify. A trick of the shadows? Someone in a suit? But if so, why would anyone be out here, in the middle of nowhere, dressed like that? While camping in the depths of Ottawa National Forest, a group of adventurers experienced a chilling encounter. Strange movements flickered through the shadows, and a mysterious figure lurked among the trees. At the time, they brushed it off as a passing animal, unable to make out its form in the darkness. But when they reviewed their footage later, their hearts pounded. What they captured on camera wasn't just an animal, it was something far more unsettling. One night, a man was driving down a pitch-black road when out of nowhere, chaos erupted. A gang of men wielding machetes burst onto the scene, charging straight at his car. Heart racing, he slammed the gear into reverse and tore backward into the darkness. The machete wielders gave chase, but after a terrifying few seconds, he managed to shake them off, barely escaping with his life. A man was enjoying a quiet run along a remote trail in eastern British Columbia when his peaceful jog took a terrifying turn out of nowhere.
Holy shit!
A massive grizzly bear burst onto the path. Without a second thought, the runner bolted, adrenaline kicking in as he sprinted for his life. For a few heart-pounding seconds, the bear gave chase. One wrong step, one slip, and it could have been the end. But luck and sheer endurance carried him to safety. While trekking through the desolate desert of southern New Mexico, a Reddit user came across something deeply disturbing. Half buried in the sand was a single woman's shoe, torn and shredded like it had been chewed by something not quite natural. There were no other belongings, no footprints, no tracks leading in or out, just that one mangled shoe sitting eerily alone in the middle of nowhere. It's almost impossible to believe someone simply lost it and didn't notice, especially out there, where isolation feels almost otherworldly. So now the question lingers like a whisper on the wind. What really happened to the woman who wore it? And more chillingly, Is she even still human? On May 18th, 2024, what started as a calm, tethered hot air balloon ride turned into a heart-stopping moment.
Don't like, as long as she doesn't let go.
That would be bad.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh, her feet.
As the balloon began to rise, a woman suddenly latched onto the outside of the basket, completely unnoticed by the passengers and crew. Dangling high above the ground with nothing but her grip keeping her alive, she held on for dear life. Thankfully, she managed to cling to the basket until the balloon touched down again. But for a few terrifying minutes, everyone watching thought they were about to witness a tragedy. It was a shocking reminder, even a safe adventure can go wrong in an instant. While camping deep in the woods, this man made a discovery that would haunt anyone. An eerie mask, half buried in the mud, staring up at him with a twisted, unsettling design. There were no clues to who it belonged to or why it was there, but the moment he laid eyes on it, he felt a chill run down his spine. Was it just a discarded costume piece, or a silent witness to something far more sinister? A climber recently posted a jaw-dropping video that delivers a powerful safety reminder.
Alrighty, boys. This is why you tie knots in the end of your rope, or else you might just wrap off the end. Yeah, baby! Yeah! This is nutty! Look at that view!
Alrighty boys, this is why you always tie a knot at the end of your rope, just seconds before slipping right off the end. No knot, no warning, and a sudden drop that'll make your stomach flip. The footage is a gripping wake-up call. No matter how experienced you are, skipping even one basic safety step, like tying a stopper knot, can turn a routine rappel into a life-threatening fall. Climbing isn't just about strength or skill, it's about respecting the process. Most climbing accidents happen during rappelling, and this is exactly why. One night, as someone wandered outside, they spotted something truly bizarre. A bicycle riding itself, not rolling downhill, not pushed by the wind. This thing was pedaling forward, on its own. No rider, no strings, no tricks, just a bike, moving like it had a mind of its own. So if no one was on it, what was? After a heated argument at home, Talia decided to escape into the woods for a peaceful glamping trip with her loyal Dalmatian. Everything seemed perfect until the clock struck 11 p.m. That's when she heard it.
Yeah, because what is that? Let's go inside. Let's go inside. It sounds super far away, but like... No, what is that? Yo, come on. Come on, yo. He came inside so fast. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but we...
At first, she thought her dog was acting up just to get her attention. But then, that sound. A blood-curdling scream tore through the forest, sending chills down her spine. Terrified, Talia and her dog rushed inside and stayed up the rest of the night, too scared to sleep. By morning, they packed up and left, vowing never to return. But the strange part? This wasn't the first haunting reported at that very site. This video was filmed deep in the Appalachian Mountains, a place shrouded in mystery and known for one eerie phenomenon, a faint whisper of the word "hey" that many claim to hear. For years, people brushed it off as a hoax or clever marketing, until Allie captured something chilling on camera. The view was amazing, worth the effort. But while recording nature for her Snapchat, something unexpected happened. A whisper, clear and unsettling, cut through the silence. Hey, was it just the wind? Or was something or someone watching from the trees? A couple who had been living peacefully off the grid started noticing something strange on their property one day. From a distance, it looked like a man wrapped in a blue tarp, but something about it was wrong. The way it moved was eerie, unnatural, almost inhuman. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. When they returned to the spot later, it was like nothing had ever been there. No footprints, no snapped branches, no sign of disturbance, just the eerie footage they managed to capture. So who or what was that? And how did it end up in such an isolated place? While out walking their dog near a nuclear power plant, a Reddit user stumbled upon some bizarre, unidentifiable objects, and naturally, they shared the strange discovery online. To their surprise, other users chimed in with their own photos of the same mysterious items from the same area. The weirdest part? No one knows what they are or where they came from. In Brazil, a group of men were digging, likely prepping the land for farming, when something bizarre happened.
Mexe aqui, ó. Ó, quanto mais mexe, mais o fogo. Tem condição disso, cara? Você viu no meio do nada aqui, ó. No alto, ó. Ó. O fogo aí, mexe de novo, fez aqui na brincadeira, nossa. Aqui na frente aqui. Ó. Lógico que não tem desse, cara. Ó. Mexe mais aqui no meio aqui, quer dizer? Na frente lá.
As they dug deeper, actual flames began erupting from the ground. Not steam, not smoke, real fire. And it didn't stop, it grew stronger the more they dug. Some believe it was a pocket of natural gas, like methane, finally escaping and igniting from the pressure or a spark. But not everyone buys that explanation. In spiritual circles, there are whispers that it could be something far more mysterious, perhaps a sacred site disturbed or cursed ground awakened by mistake. Whatever the truth is, fire bursting from the earth isn't just strange, it feels like a warning. On October 3rd, 2019, a group of hunters were deep in the forests of Ontario when an unexpected sound stopped them in their tracks.
Oh my God.
Out of the silence came a bone-chilling scream, deep, guttural, and filled with what sounded like raw agony. Oh my God. The hunters froze, eyes darting through the trees, straining to see what creature could make such a noise. But whatever it was, stayed hidden. The haunting wail echoed through the forest for minutes, unrelenting, eerie, and unlike anything they'd ever heard. Some claim it had to be an animal, but no one could agree on what kind. To this day, no one knows what was out there or what cried out in the dark that night. On July 16, 2006, two brothers set out for a hike in the dense forests of Tofino, leaving their family behind at a nearby campground. Aware of the area's reputation for wildlife encounters, they brought along a video camera just in case. As they ventured deeper into the woods, a large, dark figure suddenly appeared in the distance.
Maybe. Oh, God. Wait, come here, come here. Come here. Look at that. This is. He ran backwards, right? Over there somewhere. See, that could be a possible footprint. I don't know. Could be.
Wait, stay back!
For several tense seconds, they watched. Then, as one brother stepped forward for a closer look, the other yanked him back. Alarmed, they retreated about 50 meters. After waiting in silence, curiosity got the better of them, and they cautiously returned to the spot. Standing in the shadow of a towering tree, they tried to make sense of what they had seen. The creature, an estimated 7 feet tall, slightly hunched, had locked eyes with them before vanishing into the wilderness. What did they see that day? A misidentified animal or something more? Over the years, strange sightings have been reported around Chernobyl, the site of one of the world's worst nuclear disasters and now a haunting radioactive wasteland. Recently, a chilling video surfaced online, allegedly filmed in the area. In it, a bizarre creature crawls across the ground with a jerky, unnatural movement. Its body is patchy with matted brown fur, but large areas appear hairless and raw, like something's seriously wrong. Some viewers believe it's just a starving wolf or a mangy stray dog, but others think it might be something far more disturbing, something twisted by radiation, a mutation that nature never intended. What do you think it is? Back in 2009, a group of teenagers was out camping in the remote woods of Oklahoma, goofing off with a gas-soaked bottle and filming their antics for fun. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, just a typical night in the wilderness. But when they reviewed the footage later, they spotted something chilling they hadn't noticed before. Lurking in the background between the trees was a gray figure, silent, almost ghost-like. It moved with an eerie grace, not quite human, but not fully animal either. None of them had seen or heard it in person that night, and to this day, no one online has been able to identify what it was. Can you? As this man ventured into the woods to cut down a tree, he witnessed something truly bizarre.
Get down close to it.
There's air coming out of this tree.
Trying to catch your breath.
Yeah.
Like me, it's your windows. I never seen a tree do that.
No, it's still.
The moment his axe struck the trunk, whoosh, a powerful burst of air shot out, almost like the tree was exhaling. It might sound supernatural, but there's a fascinating scientific reason behind it. Trees are filled with tiny vessels, think of them as nature's version of veins, that can trap and release air under the right conditions. While staying at a historic hotel in Windsor, one guest accidentally captured something truly chilling. In the photo, a ghostly figure of a young girl seems to appear, almost too clearly to ignore. This building, standing for over a century, has long been whispered about for its paranormal activity. Guests and staff alike have reported eerie encounters. A little girl seen roaming the hallways, disembodied laughter echoing through the night, and faint voices with no source. Skeptics point to tricks of light or pareidolia, the brain seeing faces where none exist. but others say this image might finally be the proof believers have been waiting for. While mapping out her next backpacking adventure using Google Street View, Reddit user Embarrassing 0001 stumbled upon something downright bizarre. One image showed a cyclist seemingly absorbing energy from another person. At least, that's what Redditors claimed as they dove headfirst into Hollywood physics to make sense of the surreal scene. In the third image, things got even weirder. The cyclist looked like they were taking off. Was this just a quirky camera glitch, a mind-bending optical illusion, or a real-life glitch in the Matrix? No one knows for sure, but the post quickly became a hotbed for wild theories and hilarious speculation. So, what do you think is going on here? This eerie footage was captured on a relative's trail camera deep in the woods, and what it shows is downright unsettling. A group of women, all dressed in white, stood silently among the trees. No clear faces, no explanation, just there. What were they doing out there in the dead of night? Some kind of ritual? A lost group? Or something even darker? Whatever the answer is, one thing's for sure. This isn't something you'd ever want to stumble upon alone. This user was deep in a forest in Switzerland when he heard it, a blood-curdling scream echoing through the night. At first, he thought it had to be an animal, maybe a fox. But here's the thing, this forest doesn't have foxes. None. Not a single one. Some strange incident happened years ago that wiped them all out, and ever since the area's been completely fox-free. But the sound that was heard? It wasn't an animal. It sounded exactly like children screaming. Multiple voices calling out from somewhere in the darkness. He stood frozen in the middle of the forest, miles from the nearest town, with no explanation for what I was hearing. No lights, no movement. Just those haunting cries, as if they were circling me. So what was it? Who or what was making those sounds in a forest where no living creature should be making them? Late one night, campers gathered around a roaring fire, laughing, telling stories, when suddenly, something changed. The air grew colder, and then someone spotted it. Just beyond the flickering flames, a white figure, barely visible. Arms stretched wide as if it was reaching out. But reaching for what? Or who? While hiking, this person saw something strange in the woods and decided to go back. Curiosity got the better of him, so he grabbed a flashlight, camera, and headed into the forest to see if he could find anything, or explain what he thought he saw. He wasn't expecting much, just a quiet walk, maybe a spooky vibe or two. Then he hit record and filmed for about 15 minutes just in case. But here's where it gets weird. While he was out there, he didn't see anything unusual. But when he played back the footage later that night, something was there, clear as day, standing in the middle of the path, still, watching. It looked like a ghost, or something pretending to be human. The figure wasn't moving, just staring. It wasn't a trick of the light. It wasn't some blurry shadow. The camera picked it up perfectly, almost too perfectly. And yet, we never saw it in person. Only the lens caught it. So now I have to ask, who or what was standing there in the middle of the woods that night? Was it something supernatural? Or could someone be staging this? This person took their dog for a late-night walk through a forest they usually avoid after dark. Everything seemed normal until the dog, usually playful, stuck nervously by their side. As they passed abandoned houses deep in the woods, the dog lagged. This person called out, "Coco, let's go, we need to go." But the moment they turned their back, they heard their voice repeat those exact words from behind them. Same tone, same delivery, but they hadn't said it again. So, who or what did? Was someone hiding in the woods? A mimic? Or was this person lured into something far more terrifying? Kaylin Schulte and Crystal Turner were living their dream, a free-spirited life on the road, hopping from one campsite to another in their trusty van. But something felt off on the night of August 15th, 2021. During a call with friends, they mentioned a strange man lurking near their campsite, making them uneasy. Later that night, at a local bar, they voiced their fears again that someone nearby was creeping them out. They planned to leave the area the next day, but they never got the chance. On August 18th, their bodies were discovered near their campsite, both shot and left in the wilderness they loved so much. The warnings haunted friends and family the couple had given just days before. Months passed with no answers until May 2022, when police finally named a suspect, Adam Pinkusiewicz. He had already taken his own life shortly after the murders, but not before confessing to someone that he had killed 2 women in Utah, revealing chilling details only the killer could have known. Kaylin and Crystal's adventurous journey was tragically cut short not by nature, but by a predator hiding in plain sight. A Reddit user recently dared to explore an abandoned town under the cover of night, but what they encountered still haunts them. Amid the crushing silence, they heard it. The unmistakable sound of children laughing and whispering. In a town that's been deserted for years, how could that be?
¿Eres una niña? Oye, güey, si oye que están hablando, güey. Oye. Oigan. Hola. Oye. Oye.
Para allá, güey. Yo lo escucho para acá, carnal.
Sí, para allá se escucha, güey. Niña, ¿puedes venir a jugar con nosotros?
Some say the voices were echoes of the past, the restless spirits of children who once lived there. Others chalk it up to the wind playing tricks, or perhaps an eerie coincidence of nature. But in that shadow-choked place, with nothing but darkness pressing in, the line between reality and the supernatural began to blur. On March 3rd, 2023, in the quiet town of Mount Vernon, Georgia, a woman was casually snapping sunset photos of her brand new porch. At the time, everything seemed perfectly normal. But years later, while scrolling through those old pictures, her daughter spotted something bone-chilling, a shadowy figure standing silently on the porch. The home sits deep in Civil War territory, eerily nestled between 2 historic graveyards, Adams Cemetery and the Basil Connell Family Cemetery. Though there haven't been many reports of paranormal activity in the house, the woman admits to feeling unexplained cold spots from time to time. So, did she unknowingly capture a ghostly visitor from the past? On their way home from a rainy hike, a group of friends captured something bone-chilling on camera. A mysterious hand appeared out of nowhere, pressed against the windshield, and then vanished without a trace. The rain was hammering down, the car was speeding through slick roads, and yet somehow, the moment was caught in perfect clarity. At first, skeptics dismissed it as a hoax, but when they looked closer at the weather, the speed, the angle, doubts started creeping in. Pulling off a prank that convincing under those conditions? Nearly impossible. Some believe it was the ghost of a local legend reaching out. Others swear it had to be a clever illusion. But no matter what theory you believe, no one has ever explained what happened. Around 2 a.m., a woman called her friend with an unusual request. She wanted to visit an old forgotten cabin hidden deep in the woods on private land. The place had been abandoned for years, with only wild animals occasionally roaming inside. When they got there, the cabin was eerie, filled with unsettling remnants of the past, but nothing outright terrifying. It wasn't until they were driving away that things took a chilling turn. As they sat in the back of the truck, casually recording their ride home, a blood-curdling scream suddenly echoed through the woods. What made it even more disturbing? The scream sounded exactly like the woman's mother, but her mother was sitting right next to her in the truck. To this day, they have no idea who or what let out that scream. While out camping and hunting one night, a man captured a chilling photo that has left people puzzled ever since. In the middle of a wide open meadow, something strange appears in the darkness, a faint, shadowy figure lurking in the distance. The image is blurry, making it nearly impossible to identify exactly what it is. But one thing is clear, it looks like someone or something is watching. Since the photo surfaced, theories have run wild. Was it just a curious animal? An eerie optical illusion? Or could it have been something far more sinister hiding in plain sight? Some even suggest it might have been an owl, but others aren't so sure. While riding his bike, this person heard something chilling. An isolated baby's cry echoing through the middle of nowhere. In many cultures, that sound is more than unsettling. It's believed to be the call of a jinn. Others fear it could be a sinister trap, possibly tied to human trafficking. The haunting cry forced a terrifying question. Do you stop and try to help, or keep going and protect yourself? What would you have done? While camping near a quiet river, one Redditor's friend captured something bone-chilling on camera. A mysterious figure draped in what looked like a robe. According to them, it moved swiftly and silently. Almost too silently. The eerie details made the whole encounter feel like something straight out of a ghost story. But here's the creepiest part. This wasn't the first time they saw it. The figure had appeared twice before, vanishing before anyone could snap a photo. Now that it's finally been caught on camera, the internet is divided. Some say it's just shadows playing tricks. Others are convinced it's the real deal. What do you see? A glitch of light? Or a ghost in plain sight? Back in 2017, a cyclist was documenting his ride through a thick, shadowy forest when he stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare. Standing dead center in the trail was a clown, completely still, silently staring into the void. At first, the cyclist was intrigued, maybe even tempted to ride closer, thinking it was just some kind of prop or abandoned doll. But as he inched forward, a chilling feeling crept in. Something was off, very off. Without hesitation, he turned around and got out of there. I mean, who in their right mind stands motionless in the middle of the woods in a clown suit, staring into nothing? While driving through a quiet forested neighborhood, someone spotted a house that instantly gave off eerie vibes. lined with strange mannequins. It looked more like a twisted art installation, or maybe even a warning. Intrigued and a bit unsettled, they snapped a photo and shared it on Reddit. Soon after, the mystery unraveled when the homeowner's son chimed in. He revealed that the mannequins were his dad's quirky form of self-expression. Seasonal decorations mixed with a clever nod to his shop Yield the Crow. With the truth out, what once felt creepy is now being praised as oddly charming, and Reddit can't get enough. Late one night, a group of friends were driving through the woods when they passed an eerie, rundown building.
Oh my God!
You see it? It had arms.
Braxton, that had arms!
No, those are arms.
Oh my God! Oh my God, it's a real person.
No, those are arms now. No, those are arms. No, those are arms. No. I don't care. Those are arms.
She has the gun hat on, I see it! That's f***ing arms!
Frozen in shock, they stared at the shadowy figure in the window. It wasn't moving and just standing there, watching, silent. This place was built in 1915. It was once a hospital, but it has been abandoned for years. So, who or what was staring back at them? Some say it's the spirit of a patient who died inside, still wandering the halls. Others think it's just someone squatting there. But if that's true, why didn't they move? Why were they just watching? In the summer of 2012, fresh out of high school, a Reddit user joined their family on a camping trip somewhere north of Truckee, California. Along the scenic drive, they casually snapped photos, just random shots to remember the moment. One of those pictures was of an old, weathered barn. Harmless, right? But once they got home and uploaded the images, something chilling emerged. In the photo of the barn, a shadowy figure could be seen, mid-step, as if walking straight toward the building. The eerie part? No one was there when the photo was taken. Despite multiple attempts to enhance and analyze the image, the figure remains a complete mystery. While hiking a familiar trail near his home, this man spotted something that made him stop in his tracks. A mask eerily wedged into a tree. It hadn't been there the week before, and its sudden appearance felt off. It looked like it didn't belong, almost as if it had been left behind after some strange ritual. Was it just a creepy prank? Or could it be a chilling clue that something far more unsettling was unfolding deep within these woods? Years ago, two friends visited an adventure park in Matlock and snapped a few casual photos to remember the day. At first glance, everything looked normal, just the two of them standing side by side, smiling for the camera. But when they looked at the second photo, a cold shiver ran down their spines. Between them stood a figure, faceless. The photos were taken only seconds apart, yet neither of them recalled anyone being nearby. Certainly not someone standing between them. Was it a trick of the light, a glitch in the camera, or something far more unsettling? While hiking through the misty trails of the Pacific Northwest, a Reddit user caught sight of something moving in the woods. Curious, he snapped a quick photo, but when he zoomed in later, his jaw dropped. Standing upright, covered in black fur, was a massive ape-like figure, unlike anything native to the area. It didn't match any known animal, but it did bear an eerie resemblance to a legendary creature whispered about for generations. Could this be the moment someone finally captured Bigfoot on camera? A TikToker decided to go camping deep in a remote forest. Just him and his loyal dog. At first, it felt like paradise. No people, just pure, untouched nature. But as the sun dipped lower, things took a strange turn. The forest suddenly fell dead silent, not even a rustle. That's when his dog tensed up, staring into the woods like it sensed something off. Feeling the unease creep in, he started recording. Then it happened.
Without a doubt, the creepiest campsite we've been to. After arriving late to the campsite, There was nobody else there. It was very quiet, but for some reason, I just had the hairs standing up on the back of my neck, and the dog was constantly growling at different things, and heaps of animals in the surrounding nature.
A flicker of light appeared in the distance, brief, silent, and unnatural. No footsteps, no voices, just this eerie glow hanging in the air like it was watching, but trying not to be seen. Who or what it was, he had no idea. He didn't stick around to find out. Without hesitation, he scooped up his gear, called his dog, and vanished into the night. 6 years ago, a Reddit user ventured deep into the countryside to explore an old, crumbling farmhouse, one locals whispered about with unease. They said the owner had died inside nearly 30 years earlier, and judging by the state of the place, time hadn't been kind. The floors were collapsing, and the stairs to both the basement and upper level had completely vanished. Nature had swallowed the house. Thick trees and tangled bushes made just reaching a door feel like navigating a jungle. Still, he found a narrow opening and slipped inside, thinking he was alone. He wasn't. Inside, every window was boarded up, and the main door was sealed tight.
Looks like all the windows have been boarded up, especially the door out. You've got to be fucking shitting me.
He'd explored countless abandoned places before, but this one felt different, wrong. He couldn't shake the feeling that something else was there, watching. A group of friends were enjoying a peaceful getaway deep in the forest, until an uninvited guest made a shocking appearance.
Oh, hey! Mike, hey, no, Mike. Mike, get on it, Mike. Mike, get on it.
Just move. Just.
Mike, don't move. Mike, no, going that way. Holy shit, that son of a bitch. Did he die?
Suddenly, a massive black bear appeared on the trail. Chaos was about to erupt, until one brave man calmly stepped forward and spoke with unexpected authority. To everyone's amazement, the bear actually listened and quietly turned around, disappearing into the trees. This rare and intense moment showed just how timid black bears can be compared to their more aggressive cousins. But let's be clear, what that man did was incredibly risky. It could have gone wrong. Thankfully, it didn't. While camping in the eerie stillness of the White Mountains, a Reddit user stumbled upon something truly spine-chilling. A long, thin, wriggling worm slithering close by. But this wasn't just any worm. It was a horsehair worm, a parasite with one of the most disturbing life cycles in nature. These sinister creatures live inside insects like grasshoppers, slowly hijacking their minds. When the time is right, they compel their host to make a fatal leap into water, just so the worm can break free and continue its twisted existence. Captured deep within the wilderness, this eerie footage shows a towering black figure moving silently through the trees. It pauses by a river, crouches down, and begins to drink. The man behind the camera is convinced he saw Bigfoot, but with the video's typical grainy, low quality, it's hard to say for sure. Is this the legendary beast, or just a well-executed hoax? One night, after a casual visit to a friend's house, Dustin Frazier pulled over at a roadside spot rumored to be steeped in eerie, unexplained legends. He'd heard the stories, but seeing it for himself, that was something else.
Okay. Somebody said that they could see it being like a mountain lion. Like a mountain lion. Or like coyotes. But like, they are everywhere. The more you look around, the more of them you see. So I just...
At first, people tried to explain it away. Maybe a mountain lion, maybe a pack of coyotes. But they were wrong. Way off. Because the longer Dustin looked around, the more of them he saw. Shadows lurking, shapes watching, and scattered across the forest floor. Piles of bones. Chilled but driven by curiosity, Dustin stepped into the trees. Then, a sharp, chilling sound ripped through the silence. Something like laughter, but not human. Still, he kept going. Until, then, clear as day, someone or something whispered,
Hello?
Dustin didn't wait to find out what came next. He turned and bolted straight back to his car, heart racing, never looking back. On a recent expedition to an old, abandoned factory near Derby, self-described urban explorer Stronk Bushman and two companions stumbled onto something chilling. They captured a photo of the decaying interior, an image that, at first, seemed typical for such a haunting location. But when they boosted shadows and exposure back at their makeshift editing station, everything changed. Behind a half-open door in the background, a strange figure appeared. Silent, still, and unmistakable. None of them remember hearing footsteps or seeing anyone at the time. It wasn't noticeable until the lights and contrast were cranked up. And while some might chalk it up to pareidolia or an optical quirk, this was something different, something that left them questioning whether the abandoned factory had another kind of inhabitant after all. In March 2012, while taking a walk in San Antonio, Texas, someone noticed something bizarre in the sky, an orb glowing like a miniature fireball. But this wasn't your average flickering flame or a drifting balloon. It hovered with purpose, gliding smoothly through the air, almost as if it knew exactly where it was going. There were no wings, no strings, and no sound, just a mysterious silent light defying everything we know about how things are supposed to move. Whatever it was, it didn't behave like anything natural. A Reddit user was away on a peaceful camping trip when she decided to check her home security camera, and what she saw sent shivers down her spine. In one of the clips, a chilling figure appeared in the window. It looked like a ghostly little girl staring out. Strangely, the figure didn't show up in any of the other footage. So now the question is, did she capture something paranormal? Or is it just a creepy coincidence? The internet is divided, and no one can agree on what's going on. About 2 years ago, a curious Japanese camper decided to investigate a haunted cemetery after a chilling CCTV clip began making the rounds online. Dated September 11, 2015, the footage appeared to show a shadowy figure gliding silently between gravestones in the middle of the night. Intrigued and unfazed, the camper ventured to the site alone after dark. As he roamed the eerie grounds, spinning around, he caught a fleeting glimpse of a mysterious figure. An apparition that vanished as quickly as it appeared. Terrified and shaken, he bolted from the cemetery, unsure of what he had just encountered. But let's be real, it sure sounds like he saw a ghost. If you liked that video, make sure to check out the Dare to Watch YouTube channel, where we have tons of videos just like this. And if you want to see our latest scary hiking encounters, make sure to click subscribe so you'll get notifications.